The second Corporate Governance Conference will be held on the 11th and 12th December in Stellenbosch. Among other issues, delegates will discuss issues of governance, the ramifications of artificial intelligence, as well as climate change. Joining us to speak on the issue on the table is head of the Center for Corporate Governance in Africa, this at Stellenbosch University, Professor Nicolene Wesson. Prof, a pleasure to have you on the program this afternoon. Firstly, could you provide an overview of the upcoming second Corporate Governance Conference and also its significance in addressing the challenges in corporate governance, especially considering the societal and demographic implications as well?
Yes, thank you. Yes, the conference will be held this week, Monday and Tuesday. So we're bringing a lot of people together, academics, researchers, practitioners, where we will discuss the new developments in corporate governance and also the challenges. The audience that we will have will be represented from Africa, South Africa, also abroad. But the main issues that we are looking at in this conference is corporate governance, specifically within the reporting environment, how you report on issues, climate change being a big thing, and then also your remuneration. A lot of our papers will be about remuneration. So what we're actually wanting to do there is to have lively debates and discuss issues that's supported by the scientific evidence of the research that has been done. What is also important at the conference is we will have a panel discussion on this governance of sustainability. Because of this eminent nature of climate change, and just discuss what is greenwashing, why is it important to report on things, and how will we move companies, organizations, individuals to really make a change for the better of the world in terms of climate change.
So you've outlined that the conference covers a range of topics from integrated reporting to climate change as well. How do these themes then address the evolving landscape of corporate governance? And what specific challenges do you aim to tackle through these discussions?
Yes, so the challenges would always be, when you look at corporate governance, what it actually means is it means that there should be ethical and effective leadership by the governing board to be able to attain those corporate governance outcomes that one wants, like a good culture at the organization, good performance, effective company, and also the legitimacy for the company to operate. So in essence, the challenges all revolves among that. So there are different ways of looking at it. And now with artificial intelligence, there's a lot of papers also looking at that, because those new technologies really provide innovative ideas to address risks and opportunities for organizations.
So the panel on the governance of sustainability is particularly interesting. Given the controversial statements on fossil fuels and global warnings as well, what perspectives and also solutions do you anticipate emerging from these discussions, which are going to be led by Mohammed Adam?
Yes, we're looking forward to that, because we really have specialists on the panel as well to be able to look at the governance of sustainability, the assurance of sustainability, the reporting of sustainability, and just in general, what it means and how one can make sure that there's ethical reporting and practices being applied in climate change by organizations and also by individuals. So we're really expecting a lot of knowledge from the panel members, but also from the floor, a lot of debates and discussions on the issue.
Let's speak about more of the keynote speakers, such as Professor Wiseman Kuhlu, as well as Professor Musa Mangena. These men bring diverse expertise as well. What unique insights do they offer, and how do you envision their contributions shaping the dialogue on corporate governance, best practices in a changing world?
Yes, so I think Professor Wiseman Mkhulu would be a very good example of somebody talking about the auditing profession and also the expectation gap between what company or what the public expects from an auditor and what has been done, and how we can really increase the trust of the auditor, because the auditor plays a crucial role in society, and just making sure that that trust is being upheld and all the checks and balances that needs to be in place. He's also very passionate about transforming the profession and about uplifting people to also join the fraternity of chartered accountants. So I think that would also be a very good discussion. And then our other keynote He's an academic from the UK, and he is also very versed in corporate governance issues and the link between finance, corporate governance, inequality, all of those things. Also, a lot of his research deals with executive remuneration. So there we will get the scientific base of many of these things. And as you know, currently the hard debate is there science to support all these issues? And we really want to bring the science and discuss that.
Professor Wesson, you've mentioned seismic shifts in business as well as societal landscapes. How have global phenomena such as climate change, inequality, and technological advancements influenced the demands on organizations in terms of governance practices as well?
Yes, so you can just think how the demands has increased, and therefore companies really need to ensure that they understand the environment in which they operate, and also the effect that they have on the environment and the environment have on them. So I think it's more and more important to realize all companies, whether you are listed or a non-profit, whatever type of company you are, that you make sure that the people that's running this company, your governing or people that are overseeing your company, your governing body, are really equipped to do that, because this governing body needs to ensure that all these risks has been assessed and addressed, and that you actually look at your stakeholders, environment being one of your stakeholders. So I think there's an increased demand for companies or organizations to really be accountable towards what they are doing and accountable towards the environment. And then all the challenges with innovation and technologies, so many risks to be addressed. And companies can't just leave that and say, we're not dealing with that. Whether you're small or big, you need to make sure that there's expertise within this governing board of yours, or you buy in expertise to make sure that you do address those risks. Because we've seen with recent COVID and other examples, if you're not ready for those risks, there will be a huge ramification for your total stakeholders.
So you've also emphasized the need for organizations to align with sustainable long-term growth rather than pursuing short-term gains. How can businesses then strike this balance effectively?
So what works very well, and what research also shows us, is you need to have some sort of governance in place to ensure that the company really strives towards long-term growth, because it doesn't help you to just meet the short-term targets and then your company goes past over a short period. So what works well from a governing perspective is to align remuneration incentives to those goals. So King 4 is also strong on that, to say that a company needs to align the people running the company, mostly your executives and your board, those people need to have alignment, and the management, towards the sustainability goals, long-term growth of the company, so that it's not just short-term. Because if you only align your remuneration package to a share price, it's easy to, that can be manipulated. So there needs to be really good incentives for executives, for instance.
And in closing, could you share the overarching goals of the conference and also the outcomes you hope to achieve in terms of advancing corporate governance?
Yes, so this is our second corporate governance conference. We had one last year as well, and we saw that there's really a need for people to come together and discuss these issues. We've had more than double the number of presentations this year as compared to last year. So we're really looking for lively debates, people connecting. And what always happens at a conference like this is you meet people with similar interests, and you can do more research on that. So that's from the research side, but definitely also practitioners. There's a lot of practitioners presenting and attending. So we want that, that interaction between public, private sector, practitioners, all. We need a concerted effort to strengthen corporate governance.
Professor Nicolene Wesson, she's the head of Center for Corporate Governance in Africa, of course, from the University of Stellenbosch.